What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of NahLo Kicking Knowledge. Today is the day after Valentine's Day. Shout out to all you lovers. I hope you had a good night. I'm sure it was, hopefully it ended with some good whoopee, sex, love making, whatever you want to call it. And that's going to lead us into a little bit of our topic today, because it's quite a sexual aspect, as well as our topic tonight for NahLo Kicking Knowledge on Blog Talk Radio. Tonight I'll be on Blog Talk Radio again. I'm going to post a link down below. We'll be discussing the spiritual journey of sexuality. So basically, you know, as well as sexual astrology and things like that, but how we change on our sexual journey. No, how our sexuality, our outlook on our sexuality changes as we go on our spiritual journey. Talk a little bit about that, have people call in, got special guests coming on and all of that. But like I said, that leads us over to what we're going to talk about today. It's kind of a sexual aspect. Venus conjunct Mars. And this goes in our Soulmate series, and it also is going to go in just like our sexual astrology series, where in that series we're going to cover, you know, what aspects between people can make for like a good sexual relationship. Understand why I say aspects is going to be squares, conjunctions, oppositions, as well as house placements and things like that. But for today, we're going to kick it off with Venus conjunct Mars, which is like the most natural romantic aspect in astrology. Like as far as personal relationships, getting down and dirty, it's like a match. Why is that? Well, Venus and Mars, and this is some great food for thought overall of just understanding the planets and their functions, right? But Venus and Mars go together. They are literally like a couple, all right? And on different levels, they signify things between the sexes. So just a little preview, I want you guys to think a little bit more about this on your own. But Venus represents the curves on a woman, right? Or just overall beauty in a person, but more specifically the curves on a woman, the body shape, her sensuality, right? And Mars naturally corresponds to the male archetype, represents a man's muscles, right? His quote unquote manliness or macho-ness. And when you start to compare those planets, you can learn a lot. All right? So when Venus, one person's Venus and one person's Mars comes together, let's get the sexual stuff out the way. It's explosive, right? The Mars person is naturally the aggressor. He sees in the Venus person his prey. It's like, man, I like that, and I'm gonna go get it, right? Mind you, this shows the effect of the conjunction, because it's like the energies are drawn to each other, okay? This Mars person may not be overall very outgoing and confident when it comes to picking up, you know, the opposite sex. But when they come in contact or they sniff out that Venus energy that is around theirs, that natural Martian energy comes out, and the person goes after what they want. Then on the other hand, just how that Mars person sensed, I can get this. This is what I want. The Venus person looks and says, I like what I see. What's happening here in this particular, as I said, they go together. This is, we can go into psychology with this, but more times than not, especially our Venus and our Mars, it come together, is showing what we really, really unconsciously desire in a mate. I forgot what psychologist coined this term, but the animus and the anima, all right, which is a whole topic within itself, but that's something to consider. So that's kind of like what's happening here. So of course, sign and house placement for each individual one is going to play a huge factor in this. However, more times than not, this starts as a physical attraction, like the sexual energy literally just sensed each other. All right. So when these two get together in the sexual sense, it's very much so the Mars person leading it. The Venus person, once again, becomes receptive or submissive to the desires of Mars, because the Venus person, male or female, likes the pursuit. They like the aggression that the Mars person is showing them. So in the realm of sexuality, it's like, show me what you got, whatever you want to do. All right. And what happens is, say this is someone's Venus or their Mars comes into your 8th house. Okay, this is or 12th house. This is the prime. This could be any house, but I'm just giving you these two because, this is behind the scenes. But this thing could happen anywhere. But this is like a great affair aspect. It can work in a relationship, which I'll discuss. But as far as sexuality goes, it's like, man, I don't even really want to get to know you like that right now. I want to feel your energy. I want what your body is selling. Okay? So in the relationship aspect, it's very much so adventurous, outgoing, and this is what the key thing here, and I'm glad I'm gonna get to bring this up here because it's kind of needs to be taken into consideration for a lot of placements, but this one in particular. So the sex will be the sex, and that natural passion will always be there for each other, right? However, the individual aspects of each person's Mars or Venus is going to really show how they fare in a situation like this. So for example, say his Mars natally is square his Venus, which shows that it's always a lot of conflict within relationships. Something is always occurring. It's never just an easy route in relationships, right? When he brings his Mars into conjunction with someone else's Venus, that lesson that he needs to learn is going to be very much so highlighted, right? Now, rocking with the same example, say we have someone, the Venus person, right? It's female. Let's say in her chart, Venus trines Pluto, okay? It's just overall well aspected, and let's just say it's like in a conservative sign, like Taurus or something, right? What'll happen, and they say the Mars, yeah, and then what'll happen is the Mars person will get to learn that the problems within his own relationships. Maybe within this one, he'll see that, man, I'm kind of an argumentative person. This person is kind of peaceful, but I'm bringing my own, Mars square Venus into this. So it's gonna have a very, very strong, the person's individual aspects is gonna have a strong effect when it comes into conjunction. All right, but overall, this is just a great position to have in terms of production, because remember, Mars is energy. So on the next hand, on just an overall relationships with people, the Mars person, because remember, Venus is relationship. So the Venus person in these situations will kind of always be willing to do things, right? So Mars is energy, and if Mars is say this Mars is in fire, they're like, let's go skydiving or something like that. The Venus person would be like, okay, that sounds good. You know, you're motivating me to want to do this. Okay, and in another sense, this is great for like player coach relationships, mentorships. Okay, where the Venus person can mentor the Mars person, or vice versa. All right, but overall, the Mars person is just going to show the Venus person how to be a little bit more outgoing, how to do the things that they want to do. Because remember, Venus is about relationships, so they kind of wait for a person to do things, where Mars is just straight activity. All right, so when these two come together, it's quite adventurous. In terms of it being like a female Mars and a male Venus, this is, you ever seen like a couple out there, and mind you, this is in a physical sense, where it's kind of like, okay, they look good together, they look like they go together, and then when you meet them, like the female may really seem like she's like the male or whatever. This is a situation where it would be like the female Mars, conjunct the male Venus, because Mars in this natural combination is the aggressor. So even when it's in a female, the male is going to get a taste of what it's like to be dominated in a certain sense, because that's just the nature of it. Secretly, that's what Venus wants. She wants Mars to take the lead. So it's kind of like I like to say, it's just like a very completing connection, all right? A natural go where we understand our roles and each person appreciates what the other brings into it. All right? So guys, this is my episode for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so. Remember, check below for the link. I'll be on Blog Talk Radio tonight from about 8 to 10. Hope to see you then. Until next time, peace.